You're watching Large Trade. I'm Hiral Dadia, and on the show, we discuss large deals that have happened and made headlines. But let's first quickly take a look how markets are panning at this hour. We did hit life high levels in terms of Nifty 50, but some cooling off effect profit booking that has creeped in from the day's highest levels as well. But again, we're trying to attain some bit of height. 21,550 is where Nifty is trading at, with gains of around 0.5% coming in there, and clearly the advanced decline ratio is still favoring the bulls. Let's quickly pull up the contributors which are keeping Nifty afloat in today's session, and which are the ones which are trying to pull Nifty lower. So the Nifty contribution, if you go to see HDFC Bank, Infosys, Ultratech Cement, these are a few of the top contributors in today's session. Pressure building up by an NTPC, ITC and Adani Enterprises. Bank Nifty as well has given up some of the gains at a high of around 48 to 45 in trade today, and now if you go to see almost a 200 to 250 point cut is what we are seeing from the day's highest levels. You have two declines coming in there. Federal Bank, which is down 0.5%, Axis Bank trading pretty much flat, but Bank of Baroda, PNB, Bandhan Bank are the top gainers on that front. In terms of the broader markets as well, interesting moves that we have been witnessing on that front. Let's pull up the mid cap as well as the small cap index. If you see both of these, that's where the slip happened, and they have continued to now trade under pressure, but 0.4% in the positive. Small cap index absolutely flat. In terms of stock specific action, let's pull up Sharda Crop. That stock is up 6 to 7% in trade. 3M India is up 6 to 7. Hutco is in the positive. Polyplex is trading in the positive as well. Lloyds Engineering is trading under pressure. JP Associates is down in trade. KPI Green, which was in focus in terms of the last two trading sessions, is now seeing profit booking in today's day of trade as well. So lots of movers and shakers that are on the list. But let's shift focus to stocks that are going to be that we are going to be talking about as well. Tata Steel, now a large trade where almost 10.8 lakh shares changed hands. The stock has also hit an intraday high of 138.9. We have Himansh Kanwal who joins us to give us the details about the large trade and what's in store with regards to Tata Steel and what brokerages make out of it. Himansh, over to you.
Thank you. So Tata Steel, like you mentioned, saw 10.8 lakh shares change hands in a large trade earlier in this trading session. While the amount is not substantial, given that it's just 0.01% equity stake, the stock did see quite a reaction by surging 2.74% intraday today, touching its high of 138.9. Volumes too were 2.3 times their 20-day averages. The stock, in terms of its performance, has been up 14% so far this year, and it's also the top one in the Nifty metal pack, which is in the green overall, one of the top gaining indices, by the way. This comes in the backdrop of Citi research that came in today, reiterating its sell call on several metal companies. It has set a target price for Tata Steel at 100 rupees, which is substantially below its current market prices, citing stretched valuations for several metal companies that have seen quite the run-up in the past 3 to 6 months. Consensus EV EBITDA for the forward earnings are at 7.5 times, and this compares to a 2-year average of 5.5 times. And that's really what Citi was saying as well. In terms of corporate actions, the board is set to meet on January 25th to review their scheme of amalgamation with its subsidiary, which is expected to bring in benefits in terms of efficiencies. So that's really what's happening with Tata Steel today, which makes it one of the top gainers on the index as well.
Right. Thanks, Himansh, for getting us the details. So this is an interesting one to watch out for. And clearly, if you see the long-term performance, the stock has nearly more than doubled in the last 3 years, and that's what the data is indicating so far. And that negativity in terms of 100 rupees target price, let's see where that goes from here on. 136.9 is where Citi is trading at, with gains of almost 1.3% in today's trading session. But moving on, another stock that is in focus is Kilburn Engineering, a small cap in trade. Now, the promoters of the company, which is First View Trading, they have bought nearly 2 lakh shares in the past 2 months via the open market. To tell us more about this, Anushi, my colleague, joins in. Anushi, what do you have for us with regards to where Kilburn Engineering goes, a small cap that is on the radar?
Right, quite an interesting company. If you see a really strong promoter buying with about 2 lakh shares that you've mentioned in just the past 2 months itself. So the promoter stake, if you look at the quarter end, that stood at about 53.9%. But the company's key promoter, which is First View Trading, has been consistently increasing its stake by around 3% compared to the last year September 22 period, and about 6.6% just from the quarter end to the December period itself. Now, if you look at the company's overall order book, to get more clarity, so the company's order book stood at about 213 crores, but it sees a further addition of about 250 crores in the next 6 months. Along with this, they have also proposed an acquisition of ME Energy Limited, which has a strong clientele, for rupees 99 crores. The target company's order book stands at about 110 crore, so quite a strong addition over here. In the recent orders, the wins for the second half, the company has added about 65 crore worth of orders. So with the inclusion of this 250 crore orders, the company sees its revenue touching at about 300 crores, which is about 40% higher than the FY 23 end.
Right, so that's with regards to where Kilburn Engineering goes, and if you see in terms of the long-term performance as well, if you can just have a YTD chart of Kilburn, that will tell you 2.6 times is the kind of returns that we've already seen with regards to where the company is concerned, and the order book is absolutely strong. Promoters have yet again been increasing stake from 31.8% in September 2022. The stake has gone up to 34.5% in December 2023 so far. So that's with regards to where Kilburn Engineering, a small cap, is concerned. But moving on, Zen Technologies, one of the stars of the day. The stock has hit an upper circuit of 809.9. In fact, if you talk about the volumes as well, they're almost 6 to 7 times the kind of volumes that we've seen, and this absolutely strong. In fact, we at NDTV Profit spoke to Ashok Atluri, the chairman and MD, who says that the company expects to double top line in FY25, and the key highlight over there is also with regards to how 400 to 450 odd crores is what they are aiming at in FY24, and that could increase to almost 4,500 to 5,000 odd crores in FY28, 10 times growth, and they will be disappointed if they are not able to achieve that. Let's listen in to a bite of that conversation.
We had projected that we would hit a target of about 450 crores of turnover this year, and in the first half we have done approximately 200. And as of now, we continue to stick to our target of 450 crores, and that seems achievable at this point in time. We have about 1,200 plus crores of equipment orders. The total order book position is about 1,529 crores, but out of that, the order book is less than 1,300 crores. So all this order book has to be executed in by the next financial year end. So that would mean that if we take out about more than 250 crores of this year, next year we should cross 900 crores. So we should be almost doubling our turnover from the current financial year's turnover. So that is the outlook for the next year. I think if we do something like 4 to 5,000 crores by FY28, I would be kind of disappointed. That would be a lower end of the target, yeah.
Right, so that's with regards to where Zen Technologies goes. Strong moves coming in on this counter, and let's just very quickly pull up a long-term chart of Zen Technologies and see what the stock has done in trade. YTD basis, almost 4.3 times is the kind of returns that we've seen on this counter, and clearly from a one-year perspective as well, strong moves coming in there. But let's quickly slip into a short break. Lots more lined up on the other side. Please stay tuned to NDTV Profit for more. back. You're watching Large Trades. Another stock that is in focus on the back of a good volume build-up is Methan Alloys. Now, the stock is trading on high volumes and actually, it's seen an intraday gain of almost 15%. Some cooling off has happened. Stock is up 7.5%. Mika standing by to tell us more as to what she's picking up with Methan Alloys and their investments that they have been making in various companies, and what's the trajectory looking like going ahead. Mika, over to you.
Yes, so the stock has cooled down a little bit, but it did reach an intraday high of 15.6%. The stock is also up 31% in the past 1 year. Now, the volumes were over 13.4 times its 30-day average, with the highest volume at a price of 1,280 rupees, and the total volume stood over 10.91 lakh shares. Now, the volume was back on a company announcement where the company said that they were going to acquire 10 lakh shares, which is equal to 0.202% of NSE. Now, the acquisition cost is set at 324 crores, and the acquisition is set to be completed by March 31st of 2024. Now, the company currently holds 0.0101% stake in the NSE, and the rationale is that it will be a part of their current investments where the company views either short-term or long-term investment benefits. And it's not the only investment that the company has been making. In December itself, it made 3 different kinds of investments. It acquired 0.0012% stake in Canara Bank at a price of 25.91 crores in December 19, bringing its total stake in the bank at 0.0327%. It also acquired 0.08% of rights for a value of 9.97 crores, bringing its total stake to 0.57% as of December 15. And lastly, it also acquired a marginal stake in State Bank of India, bringing for a cost of 0.6 crore rupees on December 6, bringing its total stake to 0.01% of the company. Now, in terms of the performance this Q2, the numbers weren't that great on a year-on-year basis. Revenues were down 36%. EBITDA was also down 69%, while the margins in Q2 of this financial year stood at 7% versus 15% last year, and the net profit was also down 43%. However, the current assets of the company on a quarter-on-quarter basis were up 5% to the tune of 2,922 crores. And lastly, their investments in financial assets were up 61% quarter-on-quarter to 1,390 crore rupees.
Right, so clearly, the investments is something which is taking center stage with regards to where Methan Alloys goes, and the stock is up nearly 25 to 26% in the last 1 year. But moving on, Kansai Nerolac witnessed 2 large deals in early trade, and this comes after the land parcel deal that we have been talking about. Mahima Vajrajani joins us with more details. Mahima, apart from the land sale, what is it that you're picking up? I understand that the deals are not very large, but substantial volume build-up that we're seeing on Kansai.
Right, Hiral. So as you rightly said, they are not very large, but they're substantial. So we witnessed 2 large deals in the early trade today. We saw the first deal where approximately 1,03,000 shares were exchanged at 351 per piece, and the other large trade that took place was approximately of 50,000 shares, where again the share price was 351.7. So in total, both these large deals, the exchange took place for almost worth 54 lakhs. Now, what is in focus? As you rightly mentioned, the company is set to sell its land in Lower Parel, and the transaction is to take place at 726 crores. Prior to this, they also sold a land in Thane for 671 crores. Now, this is on the basis of the board had approved in last year that they will sell off their lands which are not being used and use the proceeds for their businesses. Now, if you talk about the stock performance, the stock has hit an upper circuit today, and this is the most that the stock has jumped in the past 7 months. If we see up till yesterday, the YTD performance of the stock was hardly 11%, whereas today the stock hit an upper circuit, and the volumes also, if we see, are very high, approximately 10 times its 30-day average. And if we talk about the analyst recommendations, it's a very mixed review. 11 say buy, 3 say hold, and 6 say sell. So this is what overall we have on Nerolac today.
Right. So that's with regards to where Kansai Nerolac goes. You still have 11 buys on that one, and overall the sector will be in focus as well. The stock is seeing gains of around 5%. Let's just pick up a Berger Paints and a Asian Paints as well and see what both these counters are also doing in trade. Berger, which is down around 0.6%, as well as the Asian Paints that was trading under pressure, but some bit of a recovery from the day's lowest levels has come in. 0.3% up move coming in terms of Asian Paints. Kansai stands out. But moving on for a final large trade in focus, we have Indiabulls Housing Finance. Now, the stock is trading on high volumes after former Blackstone head Matthew Syrak bought a 0.5% stake in the company. My colleague Varsha joins in with more details. Varsha, what are you picking up with regards to Indiabulls Housing?
So hi Hiriel. So if you see, stock was up 2% in early trade today, and now this was on the back of former Blackstone head Matthew Syrak buys almost 0.52% stake in the company. Now, this is the additional stake which he has bought. Now the stake is bought at average price of rupees 213 per share, making it at almost 53 crore. So the total value is almost 53 crore. Now volumes were 38% above 20-day average. Now if you see his purchase history, so in June 2023 it bought a stake of almost 1.49%, and later on it sold a part of its stake. So as on September 23, if you see the stake, it's almost 1%. But there are large institutional shareholders who are interested in this stock as on September 23. If you see their stake, so Life Insurance Corporation has almost 8% stake in the company, followed by PIMCO and Vanguard. Now there was this rebranding exercise in the company wherein the company was depromoterized February this year, when the BSE and NSE approved the reclassification of Gehlot and his trust to the category from promoter to public shareholder. So as a result, promoter shareholding post this reclassification is nil, and public shareholding is 100%. Now if you see, since June 30, 2023, from the disclosure made by the Gehlot's entity, it is noted that they are actually continuously pairing their stake, and this is the reason if you see the current shareholding, it's almost nil. Now if you see the outlook for this company, so the company expects almost 3,000 crores per month disbursal by FY27 from 700 crore in H1 FY24. Also they expect 18% ROE by FY28 from 7% in FY23, and they aim to reduce the cost to income ratio to 20% from 30% currently. Now if you see the stock performance for this company, the stock is up 17% in 1 month, while the year-to-date performance has been 42%. In last 6 months, it has given returns of almost 88% to its investors.
Yes. Thank you, Varsha, so much for getting us the details. So this is an interesting one to watch out for as well in terms of where Indiabulls Housing Finance is concerned. And what's interesting is, from the current ROE of 7% in FY23, they are targeting 18% by FY28, and the ROA past 2% by FY25 from current 1.6%, which was in the first half of FY24. They're also planning to reduce cost to income ratio to 20% by FY28 from 30%. So that's with regards to where Indiabulls Housing Finance goes. But let's quickly pull up a Suzlon on the screens and see what the counter is doing in trade. 2 back-to-back orders on a single trading session is what we've seen with regards to Suzlon. But no major moves coming in terms of the stock price, 0.2% higher. Let me just recap. A 100.8 megawatt order for the 3 megawatt series from a leading Nordic energy company is what they've just received right now, and this is to supply 32 wind turbines with a rated capacity of 3.15 megawatt each. The project will be with a total installed capacity of 100.8 megawatts, and this will be completed in the state of Karnataka. Now, the electricity that will be generated from this project will be supplied to commercial as well as industrial customers. And a project of this size, what they've indicated is, actually can provide electricity to almost 77,000 households and curb around 3.02 lakh tons of CO2 emissions every year. So that's the one which has just come in right now as we speak. And earlier during the day, they also announced an order of 100.8 megawatt from Mahindra Sustain. and this is a Mahindra Group company, and this was to supply 48 wind turbines, which were rated capacity of 2.1 megawatt each. This would be installed in the state of Maharashtra with a total installed capacity of 100.8 megawatt. And again, this would be supplied to commercial and industrial customers in the state of Maharashtra. So two back-to-back order wins coming in for a Suzlon, 0.3% higher. And let's just pull up a long-term chart of a Suzlon as well to see what's happened on this one. Smart moves as what we've seen already. There you go. This year, a multi-bagger that has already been announced. I mean, the kind of gains that you're seeing is already telling you that it is a multi-bagger. But moving on, let's look at a Brigade Enterprises. A smart move on that one. Strong moves coming in today's day of trade. The stock is up nearly 3 to 4%. Pavitra Shankar, MD at Brigade Enterprises, actually spoke to NDTV Profit about the upcycle in real estate and why she positively believes in the South India story for the real estate business. Let's listen into a bite of that conversation.
We are predominantly in South India. Our markets are the mainstay of Bangalore. We're growing dramatically in Chennai. We're very positive about Hyderabad as well. And we've had presence in a tier 2 city like Mysore for decades, actually. So we fully believe in the South India story. The residential story has really done well post-COVID. Even prior to COVID, we were doing well from a sales standpoint. We were scaling up. But post-COVID, across the board, I think the trend has been in residential, not just in terms of moving inventory, but also in terms of pricing. So Bangalore per se as a market, the pricing has grown dramatically, 15 to 20% over the last year and a half, which is something we have really not seen before in such a short period of time. But I also feel it's totally valid in terms of the pricing increase that is coming in because of the quality of development, what the workforce is generally comparing to, whether they live in Chennai or Hyderabad or Mumbai, for example. It's actually still quite a good bargain what they're getting in Bangalore. So I think that's why the prices have increased. And across the board as well, whether it is in Chennai, even though the market there is driven more by manufacturing, automotive, BFSI, rather than say pure tech or pure IT, it is still doing very well. And Hyderabad, of course, just the push on infrastructure that has happened in that market has caused a lot of larger office space deals to go to Hyderabad. And naturally, office is sort of a precursor to growth in the residential sector as well. So for all these reasons, we feel South Indian markets will do well. They have been doing well, and we continue to see them doing well.
Right, so that's with regards to Brigade Enterprises and her view for the South Indian real estate market. But as we know, markets did hit a fresh high in intraday trade. Some cooling off from the highest levels has happened. We did see some bit of profit booking. 21,600 is the level where you're seeing a lot of pressure, and analysts are indicating that expiry could be in that range of 21,500 to 21,600. We did speak to Gurmeet Chadha of Complete Circle, and let's listen into what he had to say in terms of what's in store for the markets leading up to the general elections in 2024.
I think this Santa rally has been, as I said, without much clauses. I think we saw a bit of a I won't even call it a dip on Friday. So some sharp moves will happen, I think, because it's normal if Nifty runs up more than 2,000 points since the state election numbers came in. Some bit of pullback is likely, but markets are like this. It will keep making you look, in the short term a little stupid. Because most of the market commentary has been saying that markets are expensive, and it keeps going up.
Right, so that's what Gurmeet Chadha is indicating, that there is a possibility of another 500 points up move. That could be on the cards, but you can't really say much. Participation from a lot of sectors which have not participated so far, IT, financials, that could be in the making. The likes of an Infosys, HDFC Bank, TCS, as well as the RIL is what we could watch out for. That's all that we have on this session. Thanks for watching, but lots more lineup on the other side. Please stay tuned to NDTV Profit.